Greetings, Goddess Body Mind Spirit community. This is Tyrone Milade, your goddess guru, your sister friend, and you know I love helping women align with their life purpose using the power of ancient wisdom and the goddess centered lifestyle. Yes, I am so excited to bring this video to you all. I know it's a little bit late, but I'm going to talk about the full moon in Scorpio anyway. It's the day after the actual full moon, but it's been less than 24 hours. So let's go on ahead and talk about it. And if you typically are here for my morning circle, I was not able to get that in this morning. So I'm sharing this video instead. So good morning and greetings. I'll be back next week. And yeah, I'm super excited about talking about this full moon. And I do want you to just note that I have a new moon circle coming up on May 2nd. I also have something very fun that I want to share with you all. Am in the process of creating the excuse me, it's a little early in my mind. I need my mind to turn on. The magic of spirituality. There we go. The magic of spirituality for modern day success. It's for women. It's an all audio summit that I have pulled together some powerhouse women to talk about using the power of spirituality to be successful in whatever area of life you desire success in. And so, yeah, I will be sharing some information with you about that soon. So be looking for it. Okay. And also to sign up for the new moon circle in Taurus, that the details will be in the description box. So let's get started with talking a little bit about this moon. So the moon was on April the 23rd. It was at 7:49 p.m. And so essentially, today is the 24th. We're still in this full moon energy. So definitely continue to, if you didn't do anything for the full moon, you can still go on ahead and do some rituals. Actually, full moon energy always lasts about 2 weeks. It lasts from the full moon to the new moon. So we have 2 weeks to work with it, but we're fresh in this Scorpio energy, which we can see this is the full moon in Scorpio. And so, yeah, I think that it's important for us to continue to work with this full moon energy. So, let me just fast forward to what we always want to remember. We have to give ourselves refreshers. What is this full moon about? Full moons are actually pretty stressful moons because they have the energy of what's called the opposition. And so it creates a lot of tension and pressure in the body. Even though, I've seen so many beautiful pictures of this Scorpio full moon. I always tell people the full moon is beautiful, but wow, it brings some very intense energy. I will say, part of what we want to think about with the full moon is celebrating. So I do hope that because that it's about culminations and endings. So I do hope that there is something that you can celebrate with this full moon. I would hope that you would stop and take time right now to celebrate yourself. And I know it can be challenging. I mean, even me saying that to you in this moment, it feels challenging because I'm having a challenge. There's relationship challenges, not with my husband, we're good, not with my children, close friends or whatever, nothing like that. It's with, interpersonal relationships. And so I'm just, oh, okay, here's something I can celebrate. I'm celebrating this audio summit. I'll share a little bit more with you as I go. But yeah, I'm celebrating the audio summit that I've been putting together. It's been a lot of fun. It's been something that I have planned on doing since the end of 2023. And it took me a minute to kind of get my energy behind it. So woohoo, because it's almost birth, baby. It's almost birth. It'll make its debut right after the new moon, or maybe right before the new moon, somewhere around somewhere around the Taurus new moon. So what are you celebrating? So Endings and culminations, a lot of times we can find that there will be an ending, but especially with Scorpio, because Scorpio is about purging and releasing. So this moon may be one that is actually really purging and releasing. And it's interesting that we had an Aries eclipse at the top of April, and that's ruled by the planet Mars. And then we're having the full moon in Scorpio, which is ruled by the planet Mars. I know some people say Pluto, but we can never forget the traditional rulers, which is what I use. Mars. Mars rules Scorpio. So it's a double Aries month that we're dealing with this the two major moons of the month. So that is really interesting. And this Aries energy definitely has been about some kind of breakthrough, some type of new beginning. And so this scorpionic moon could be about purging and releasing and letting go. So there definitely could be an ending, but just know that inherent in an ending is a new beginning. So if there's something that you need to release and let go of, go on ahead and do that if that's what the full moon is bringing up for you. So the other thing about the full moon is it's about revelations. And so I encourage you to look and see what is the moon highlighting. It sometimes it's highlighting something that we couldn't see outside of us and now we can see it. And, Scorpio is a moon that has to do with secrets. It could be secrets that other people have kept. It could be the mysteries of the universe, the deep secrets that most people don't get to understand and know until, they mature. Sometimes it takes maturing to a certain place to actually be able to see the secrets of the universe. So could be something like that. So this definitely, the light of the moon is very bright. And so it could be illuminating what's in the dark, which is definitely Scorpio. Scorpio, think about the pipes in your house, the plumbing system. Um, it is there. So it's the full moon is bright and it's illuminating what is there in the dark murkiness, the dark. So you wanna be thinking about what is being revealed, that it could be something in your inner landscape. Um, Scorpio is definitely about the psyche, and so it could be illuminating something about your inner psychology. So that's something else. I will say, we have Scorpio is definitely about digging deep and research. So it could be a revelation in terms of you've been researching something, and so now um you can see something, you've learned something, you've had an aha or eureka moment. So it also has the full moon has push and pull energy, and that word balance is what that push and pull is about. It's like you can see what's pushing and pulling you. Sometimes it could be about self-care when we're thinking about Scorpio as opposed to Taurus. So the sun is in Taurus and the moon is in Scorpio. And so that's the push and pull. Could be something about finances. Both of these signs have to do with money. So some push and pull, some balance is needed between personal finances and shared resources. You can look at it as just balance in general, like what's out of balance. You don't even need astrology to let you know where you're out of balance. We already know where we're out of balance. We're spending too much time in some area of life, right? And we're neglecting other areas of our lives. And so that would be something that the full moon can bring up also. So with Scorpio, let's look at some of the key words. So Scorpio is definitely about change and transformation. So this, I believe this moon has the potential to bring about quite a bit of change and transformation. And I still would say that there may be like one last little bit of release that you are making, because last year this time we were having an eclipse in Scorpio, or the eclipses were still in Scorpio and Taurus, and so we were dealing with this energy, and it's kind of like, what else do you need to release and let go of? to make that change and transformation. Or maybe this moon will show you where a change and transformation has already happened that you can celebrate. But it's definitely about change and transformation. And Scorpio is not soft energy, even though one of the things that I've learned to do, because I work with a lot of Scorpio energy, is to put the word gentle. Gentle change and transformation is what we can open ourselves up to. But I mean, the truth of it is Scorpio is chaotic. It is trauma, So a lot of this could be coming up. And that's to a certain degree what I've been dealing with these people um, that I have kind of bumped heads with, I guess you could say, over the last couple of days. In my mind, I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm telling you my perspective. I feel like I'm bumping up against somebody's trauma. I'm getting someone's trying to pull me in, and I'm like, no. So it's a lot of that could potentially be going on. It could be our trauma, it could be somebody else's. I think this moon is really activating it. Okay. It has to do with healing and wounding. So we could use this moon to help us step into a deeper level of healing, or we could to address any wounding. And a lot of times Scorpio is about something psychological. It's a very psychological sign, so it's about the psyche, but it could be bringing up any type of trauma that could have happened to you, right? But it's bringing it up not to torture you, but to help you to get healed up. And so one of the things you might be able to see is, even if you see the wounding, you might also see a solution. All right. Intimacy and sexual union, definitely something that could be coming up. Now, this moon could make people feel more sexual and want more intimacy, or it could just be bringing up those topics for you to address. um, I'm gonna put in there commitment as well as distrust, trust and distrust. Those are all tied in there with that intimacy and sexual union. It's difficult to be intimate with someone when you walk around in distrust of everything and everybody. Or, some of us have a high level of trust in certain relationships, but not other kinds of relationships. And so this moon actually is one that you can open yourself up to heal your trust issues. And that brings in like a deeper level of commitment also. But the commitment this is one of the qualities of Scorpio. So you can imbue yourself with the qualities of Scorpio with this moon: commitment, focused, determined. Um, One of the things that I said, let me see, is that Scorpio is about obsessions and compulsions. And so that's kind of tied in there with that commitment, focused, and determined. They're kind of like two sides of the same coin, but it's that energy of obsession and just like the energy of Scorpio is able to go deep. When I want you to think the ability to drill down into the earth to get oil or fossil fuels or whatever, which I'm opposed to. But it really is, that's an example of something very scorpionic. Scorpio goes down into the depths. Okay. And so that is the nature of this sign. When you meet somebody who has Scorpio energy, there will be something about them that is hyper focused. They are unstoppable. You cannot move them from the right or to the left. Now the question is it you're committed, focused, or determined, or are you obsessed and you're feeling like you have some type of compulsion? That's where we want to just make sure we have, it's healthy for us. But that is something you can definitely open yourself up to, um, embracing those qualities of Scorpio in your life. So then purging and releasing, I talked about that earlier. This moon definitely is about like a detox moon. So you can use this moon for anything that you need to detox from. It's a very deeply spiritual sign. A lot of times we think about secrets and taboo things with Scorpio. And so some of the taboos that I typically think about are religious or spiritual taboos. And that's where the divination comes in. It's definitely a moon of initiation. So it could be one where there's this deep wisdom or all of a sudden you're like, I want to use this oracle, or I want to divine in this way, or like I said, the secrets of the universe can be opened up. Um, so I love that part of Scorpio. It is rather intense. That's another word that I would relate to Scorpio. Very, very intense. And that's part of why there's an initiation, because initiation is about creating a change and a transformation to the point where you become somebody new. So some of us are going through an initiation. That's what I kind of think is happening with the people who I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, and this is not working for me. Um, and so yeah, I feel like there's an initiation. So just like we talked about the full moon, there's endings, but there's always going to be something new. And that initiation is, it's connected to change and transformation. And not every initiation needs to be done in a spiritual sense, like going through a spiritual process. Life initiates us on the regular. So, how are you being initiated? Let this moon reveal that to you. Now, the other thing is, again, secrets. It could be bringing up a lot regarding secrets. And it also could have you kind of like looking at the things where you're like, I don't really want to tell people this, because Scorpio represents an inner part of ourselves, and it's kind of one that's shut off, because Scorpio is like, you cannot touch a Scorpio until they trust you, with Scorpio, they're like an iceberg. They will only show you what they want you to see, but there's so much more there. But there's always this energy of Scorpio where it's like there's something there, and it's something you really wouldn't confess to most people that you're into. And a lot of times, whatever the taboos are, they don't hurt anyone else. What we have to be careful about is taboos that are harmful to other people. We don't want to be a part of that. But it can bring up your taboos. Either you want to engage in them even more, or, something about your taboos. And it could be bringing up things that are taboo in culture. The Scorpio will highlight it. One of the things that I remember with what was going on with a lot of this scorpionic energy last year was all that we've been hearing about P. Diddy. Definitely this energy of Scorpio, and, so much about what he's doing is taboo. Now, is it taboo for everybody? Maybe, maybe not. But culturally, most people are kind of like, yeah, no. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. Scorpio's the darkness. It's this energy that can be extremely controlling. And so like some of the taboo stuff is kind of like mixed in there, cults and that kind of thing. So power and control is definitely a topic that could be coming up for everybody. So yeah, look at where that's what another thing that I feel like I'm in the midst of. It's like standing in my power, and while at the same time not trying to control everybody, but definitely power and control issues can be highlighted during this full moon. Death and rebirth, again, that has to do with the change, transformation. But anytime we have a powerful full moon like Scorpio, like it seemed like so many people died with those. It seems like when the eclipses first moved into Scorpio and Taurus, it was so many people that I heard pass. I was like, wow. The other thing too that I'll say, let me just pull this. Oh my gosh, I didn't notice. Okay. So the other thing that I'll say that makes me like, yeah, death and dying definitely could be something that we see with this moon, is we have to look at the planet Mars and where it's at. And right now it's on the 25th degree, and um, Mars will be shifting pretty soon, but it's getting very close to Neptune, So these topics of death, dying, change, and transformation, maybe it's a figurative death and dying or something like that that could be coming up. But yeah, I we just want to be aware that, death is a part of life. And so I don't want to say it, but we could hear of, a few extra deaths. Not to say we hadn't heard of plenty. I know I have. So many people have lost family in the last 4 months or so. So yeah, fears and psychology. Again, we talked about the psychological nature of it. but it can be bringing up the fears, especially fears that kind of stem from where you've been wounded, obsessions and compulsions. Sometimes people don't know that they have these things going on, so it could be coming up for them. Now, let's talk about the money part of this. It represents shared resources, so it could be um, topics around money that you share with, say, for instance, your life partner or your business partner. It could be money that is coming from other places, like grants or um, fellowships, scholarships, that kind of thing. So people who have applied for that may find that they are being awarded those. It also has to do with taxes. So that topic could be coming up for a lot of people. Inheritance. As a matter of fact, I was talking to somebody and she was just last night on the day of the full moon headed to a class to learn about, wills and estate planning. So I thought, wow, you are so aligned. It's also about debt. So it could be highlighting your debt, or it could be you come up with a plan to alleviate the debt. I keep hoping to hear from people who say their student loans in the United States have been forgiven. So highlighting things around that. Now, a lot of times we don't hear people talk about how Scorpio is about recycling and composting. So we can think about the physical world, but also, is there something that needs to be recycled or composted? Is that being highlighted in your life? So yeah, metamorphosis is also a very passionate energy. You want to be thinking about those topics. Just look at your life. Look at your life. Scorpio is also strategic. It's the sign, in my opinion, of strategy. And so maybe you are gonna see that your strategy worked, or there's a new strategy you need to come up with. So that's something to think about. Also, Scorpio is a sign that one moment. It's a sign that's connected to people who are like cult leaders and very controlling. And most people have no I mean, it seems like they're diabolical, but the reason that cult leaders get away with what they do is because they're magnetic. They're magnetic and charismatic, okay? The Scorpio has that kind of energy. Dark and mysterious, that's another energy associated with Scorpio. So it could just feel like a time that feels dark and mysterious. And maybe, there's a journey, a healing journey that you're going to go on. And that's what's going to take you through that transformation, that initiation. Now, Scorpio is a water sign, so it's, intuitive, deeply intuitive. And the way Scorpio is intuitive is it has X-ray vision. That's the best definition I've heard of it. And I'm like, that is Scorpio. I am a Scorpio rising. And there are times when it's just like I can see through a person's BS. Ooh, people with Scorpio moons, I've heard, are like so easily and effortlessly able to just pierce through and see what's going on with someone. So that's the kind of intuition a lot of us will be experiencing. We will have X-ray vision, and it's like I can see through it. But the thing about what Scorpio can see is it's almost like no one else can see it because it's in the dark, right? So yeah, open yourself up for that. Deep, deep emotion. Wow. One of the songs that I just love this song, but it is so Scorpio. Still waters run deep. Woo! Still waters run deep. It's a lot of emotion there. And that's to a certain degree why it's like you gotta get in with a Scorpio, because once they love you forever. They feel so deeply, right? So deep emotion, and because it's a full moon, we may feel deep emotion. Again, this is a sign that has to do with research. So if you need to do more research, this is a great sign or moon to imbue yourself with those researching powers. If you talk to people who are scorpionic, you will find that they will research the mess out of something. Like they will research and research and research. It's so fascinating. And it's about going deep. So, when we have scorpionic energy, we not staying on the surface. See, Scorpio can't stand that. Scorpio would just be like, I'm bored, I'm gone. Scorpio is like, no. One thing about Scorpios is They want to know something about you that you don't typically confess to anybody else because they kind of feel like if you'll share deeply, then that kind of creates like a connection. So yeah, I just kind of like chuckle at that. And yeah, it's a really intense, very intense energy. So yeah, expect a healing yet intense Scorpio full moon, and I can attest to that. Okay, so let's look at what we have here. So I'm going to give y'all a few details before I go through the signs. So, um, one moment. Alrighty, so we can see that this moon is at 4 degrees of Scorpio. The sun is at 4 degrees of Taurus. So, what is the fourth degree of Scorpio? Well, it's double Scorpio energy, and it is also the energy of Sagittarius. So, definitely all the things that we talked about, deeply healing and transformative, the ability to go deep, something around money. And it also has this energy of hope and optimism in it. And so even through the hard times, what this moon will give to us is the ability to see the big picture. That's something that might be revealed in this moon so that you have hope and optimism, knowing the direction of change that you're going in, change and transformation. You can see maybe why you're going through this because you can see the big picture ahead. And also, you can see why you're going through this because you'll end up with a higher level of growth and expansion. So that's positive. Now, the other thing, too, when we think about growth, expansion, vision, is that this moon is interacting with Pluto, and it's interacting with Pluto in a way that is like giving us a big push in some way. And I would say it's like a lot of us will be focused on power and control. Pluto is about power and control. Scorpio is about power and control. So there's some push for us to stand in our power. And then again, it's about purging and releasing and um, change, transformation, dying, rebirth. All of this is coming up for us twofold over. And what it's going to allow, in addition to a growth and expansion, is progress. We are setting ourselves up to make progress. I do think that on the societal level, this full moon can bring about a lot of you know, what's the word I want to use? Mm, I don't want to use the word chaos, but that's the one that kind of keeps coming up. But yeah, it's like I don't know if it's necessarily uprisings. It could be uprisings, but it's definitely like the energy of change and transformation so that we can have progress is something that I think will be significant during this time, maybe over the next 6 months, because then we'll have the new moon in Scorpio, and that starts a new cycle of this Scorpio new moon and full moon. So we're coming to the point of endings with this particular Scorpio cycle of this moon. It lasts for a year. The new moon was last year. Now we're having the full moon this year. And then we're going to have another new moon at the end of the year. Okay. So we're in a cycle of some sort. And so I do think over the next 6 months, it could feel very, very challenging, but it's the birth of a society moving from one way of being and stepping into a whole new way of being. And so, it's the energy of something pushing you to make that happen. It's like out of frustration, these kinds of protests, demonstrations, fighting for rights, the demand for change and empowerment, all of these, I think, can be something that we'll hear across the world with this particular transit. And let's see here. Okay. So it's also about this deep healing, very deeply healing. I think that part of what will heal us is using the laws of the universe, living according to divine law, but also consulting experts. With that Sagittarius being in there, it's like, hey, go get some help. Maybe you don't want to go to what we see here in modern times is the doctor or whatever. You want to go to someone who's more holistic or whatever. But definitely, this is the kind of healing that I do recommend that you get support on. This is definitely about support. And, it's kind of like the change and transformation that happens is going to support us in all things Taurus. So, Taurus is about personal finance, it's about self worth. If we are experiencing wounding, we have to get that wounding healed up so that we can get over here in the area of self worth. But we are in the midst of this Jupiter Uranus conjunction that's kicking off something, right? It's kicking off something new. And so it's like the Scorpio moon is coming in to help us to do the healing work, to do the transformative work so that we can step into a higher level of self-worth and value, step into a higher level of self-care. I see Scorpio as being the moon of radical self-care. So that is a topic that I think might be coming up for some of us, but also it's important to understand that that's just something that, yeah, radical self-care is important to just us being able to show up in life and just be like a normal human being. But Taurus is about money and personal finances. So I just believe that there's some healing and maybe using spiritual laws of the universe that can help us step into a deeper level of prosperity. I see Taurus as just manifestation in general. So just a deeper level of abundance. So open yourself up for that healing also. And again, that is related to self care. Now, I want to just look at, we have the ruler of this moon is in Pisces. So it brings about like this etheric energy. It's definitely like a lot of us will be feeling like we're dealing with something on the spiritual level, maybe connecting with guides and ancestors. Um, and yeah, it brings about spiritual work. So I think this moon can help to spur some of that, or we'll be really busy during this moon. But I like to see this moon as lasting actually, you know, we're still going through this cycle. So it's just something I think that we can take and imbue in us for the rest of the year. So I'll just say it that way. But I definitely think around this time we will see it'll just be like I know I've been calling on way more spirit guides and doing way more readings and this is something that might be coming up also. Um and it does add to the healing energy of this moon. Um and yeah, I think if I can think of anything else, I'll bring that up. Now we do have also while this moon it was happening, the North Node with Mercury retrograde. So again, Mercury retrograde is like reiterating some new beginning. So it's something new you're doing that this moon may help you to be able to see this new direction that you're going in. I do believe it's something that needs to be intuited, or it's like these creative downloads can come to you about this moon or through this moon. Let's see here. And but yeah, there's something about a new beginning. And also, it's in Aries. The North Node and Mercury, they're in Aries. So it's something about the body or the appearance that also Mercury just keeps bringing it to us. Something that we need to learn, some new ideas. Maybe some of it is about lifestyle and, new things that we need to do. I believe that health is created from the inside out. I know a lot of times we're focused on exercise and eating, and those are extremely important. But what about the subconscious mind? What about doing some healing work? I am very clear when I struggle with, my health, I can almost trace it back to something happened and I felt it on the inside, right? So I think it could be some ideas coming to us that are helping us to understand, how do I heal myself from the inside out? And I think that this moon could be bringing that up. We can't deny this conjunction is still happening. I know a lot of times it looks like astrology happens on one day, but it does not. So this conjunction is still happening. And so the fact that it's still there on the day of the full moon, it's definitely infusing this moon with this energy of a fresh new start, a jump start of some sort, an up level. And so, yeah, I again, there's something about this moon that I'm like, yeah, 2 weeks. We know we'll get another moon in 2 weeks, but this moon has far-reaching effects. And so maybe it's the moon, what we do with this moon is helping us to transform and become whoever it is that we need to be in order to work with this new beginnings energy that can allow us to manifest quite a bit. Oh, that's why I keep taking the braces off. I keep hearing them click. Um, so I'm going to go through the signs. Let me get those. Hello. I have taken myself off camera. My internet is doesn't look too strong, so I'm trying to see if that would help. So yeah, let's talk about what this full moon in Scorpio means through the signs. So we'll start off with Aries. So for Aries, this is happening in the eighth house. And so much of what I described for you, Aries, is what this moon will feel like. I do think that I can see this being about Aries standing in your power. I know people might would think, oh, Aries has a problem with power, power and control issues. But yeah, just standing in your power. I could see this being a moon like that. That highlights that for you, and it highlights change and transformation because your life is, you're being required to change because the eclipses are in your sign. So that's really that's something that I think this moon will highlight for you also. And it is a deeply healing moon. It's healing on the inside. It's healing something that could be very, very deep inside of you. And so, or it could be bringing up any psychological issues that you may have experienced or, in the past, or maybe it brings on something new, or, it's been there underlying, but you can't escape seeing it now. I do think that for Aries and all of the fire signs, this can feel like a very difficult moon because um, it's in the eighth house. All of the fire signs, this moon is happening in the water houses. So it could be very, very emotional. And it's just like a very deeply personal experience for you. It also could be bringing up money topics, especially the ones that are about shared resources, share between you and your partner or business partner, or, even if you just live with other people and y'all share, you split the bills, and it could be your partner's money, be something about that, or it could bring up topics around taxes, debt, any of that could be coming up. Some of y'all could be finding out that you've received some type of grant or scholarship, fellowship, something like that. And definitely intimacy issues for some of the Aries. And, maybe you want to be intimate, or it just brings up, like, if you have issues in those areas. So definitely a transformative moon, a healing moon for Aries. So let's move on to Taurus. So for you, Taurus, this is happening in the seventh house. So yeah, this is a house of change and excuse me, with new beginnings, or something definitely could happen for you, Taurus, and it's regarding other people. I'm a Taurus moon, and I can see how this is, I've been telling y'all today, that's a topic that's, at the front and center, me and other people. And it could have something to do with the power and control issues, something around healing. Um, yeah, and definitely I encourage all of the Tauruses to get support. The seventh house I see as a house of support. So how do you need to be supported? And also, what's out of balance for you, Taurus? What could you do that would help to bring more? There was another word I wanted to use, but more balance, where you are not hyper focused on one thing. All areas of life are being looked at. That is definitely something that I think is important. It could be bringing up legal affairs, contracts, agreements. Any of those topics could be highlighted for you in a major way with this full moon Taurus. So the next sign I'm going to touch on is Gemini. For you, Gemini, this is happening in the sixth house. So the sixth house is all about work and workplace. It's like what's going on in the workplace. And so it's highlighting all of those topics for the Geminians. It could be where things are off balance, chaotic. It's just there's a lack of cohesion. And we need you need systems in the workplace. You need things to have more of a flow. And maybe it's being highlighted that there's like a to-do list that you need to get together, and having these systems and following this to-do list will help to bring about a change and transformation. We've got to remember that Sagittarius is in there. It's kind of like some of the Geminis may need to be looking at the vision. Maybe you've lost sight of the vision, and now it's like, oh, that's why I need to get all of this done. Same thing regarding your health and well-being. Some of the Geminis might be like, hey, I need to um, focus more on my health. And this moon is going to help you to do that. But it also will give you that drive and that passion to, get it done, see it through till the end. That's the thing about Scorpio. Scorpio becomes obsessed. Now, we'll say that sixth house is the house of problems. So, whoa, with you having Scorpio there, it could be bringing up some problems with this full moon that it's like the sixth house is where you solve the problems. First of all, you identify them, and then you come up with a plan to, like, it's this checklist. What are we going to do to resolve this? So that could be coming up. Any Geminians who have pets, it could be bringing up topics around your pets, or it also could be bringing up topics around charitable giving and, yeah, working with people who are down and out in some way. That could be something that is coming up for Geminis. Um, Not necessarily a fun full moon for Gemini, just to be honest. Okay, so next is Cancer. So for Cancer, this moon is happening in your fifth house. So I will say the fifth house is typically a house that is associated with fun and hobbies. So that might be something that's coming up for Cancerians. Cancerians may also, like Aries, feel extra sexual. The fifth house does have to do with sex. So it could be something in that topic, or you also want romance. Whenever the fifth house is highlighted, wanting to date and romance, these topics can be coming up for the Cancerians. And shining. Cancers are very intuitive, and they're deeply caring. And so, it could be really highlighting some of the Cancerians. People could be saying, "Oh, a lot of times you just seem like you're just like overly nurturing, but I really appreciate it." Right? You could be just really appreciated for that caring and nurturing way. People think Cancer is kind of like a weak sign because they can be a little emotional, but people have no idea. This is a very strong and powerful sign. I mean, like, look at this. Their fifth house has, oh, I didn't go to, sorry, I didn't move this. Their fifth house has to do with scorpionic things. So, it's like they do things that are about being powerful. And maybe that's what y'all need to do, Cancerians. Stand in your power when it comes to, being intuitive, or stand in your power around your gifts and your talents. There's something about Cancerians that could be just like, this is your gift, but you're not using it. You don't feel empowered to do it. So this full moon could be about that also. Also, children are um, indicative of the fifth house. So it could be something around your children is being highlighted. I know I have a friend, both of her adult sons. I saw her recently in a picture with them, and I know for a fact one of them lives away. And, she's just smiling and happy. She's a Cancerian, fifth house, children home, right? Um, or, some of the Cancerians might get pregnant during this moon. So if you're in that phase of life, and you want children, go for it. If you don't want children, take precaution. But also, I see the fifth house as your childhood. It's a reflection of what happened. And, it's kind of like when we were kids, we were full on in our gifts and our talents. We didn't question ourselves about them. Life happens, and then we can begin to question ourselves. But it's also, an opportunity to look back at your childhood and see, where were you disempowered? How can you stand more in your power? How can you get some healing that would allow you to change and transform? Maybe you're going to end up seeing some vision as a result of this healing. So, yeah, Cancerians, fifth house is it's a house that has to do with good fortune. So I hope some of the Cancerians experience good fortune as a result of this full moon. Next, we have Leo. Leo, this is happening in your fourth house. The fourth house is another one of those pivotal houses. Um, who did I do before? Taurus. So just like Tauruses, this can really bring about some big change in home, family, something around ancestors, and your emotional body. Some of the Leos may need some type of emotional healing during this time. And it brings about a shift in the fifth house is the foundation of our chart. It's the bottom. The whole chart sits on top of the fourth house. So this fourth house, or this full moon, could be highlighting something that needs to change in the foundation. And whatever is there now, maybe it creates a little instability. But when you go through this healing, maybe it's something connecting to some multi-generational healing that needs to happen. Maybe you need to go work with the ancestors, Leo. But whatever this change and transformation that happens, it will bring more stability to um, to your life. Scorpio, something I haven't said today is Scorpio is a fixed sign. And so with it being fixed, it's immovable. You get a Scorpio on your side, they are going nowhere. It's part of what makes Leos like tried and true. As much as people think Leos can be annoying, because they can be very grand in energy. The one thing I can tell you is, if you're looking for somebody who's going to stick and stay with you, find a Leo. A Leo and a Scorpio, a Taurus and Aquarius. To me, they are some of the best people. If you need stability, of course, we're looking for ones who are healthy. All right. Because I know someone's going to say, well, I know a Scorpio and they were flaky or whatever. It's other things that are in people's chart. This is in general. I do find Scorpios and Leos in particular, to just be pillars, and they are not going anywhere. And part of that is because the foundation of their life is called Scorpio. Scorpio is a very powerful sign. Like, it's at the core of who you are, Leo. And so this full moon can help you to step more deeply into that power. But a lot of it is through healing stuff from your childhood. And you can just wait and see what the moon brings up. Now, for some of the Leos, you may start saying, "Hey, I want to move. I want to live in a new place." So it might be more like the full moon is highlighting something around the actual place that you live in. Something that I often forget to say is it does have to do with cars. So it could be bringing something up about cars for some of the Leos. Next, let's talk about Virgo. Okay, Virgo, this is happening in your third house. And so for you, this has to do with a number of topics, and you just have to figure out which one. Let me take a quick sip. So it has to do with the mind. So Virgos deal with depression. Scorpio is a sign that I think if you meet Scorpios, they've dealt with depression. Maybe not every Scorpio, but in general, Scorpios will deal with depression. So some of the Virgos might be something is highlighted around the mental health with this full moon for Scorpio. And you really want to see what can you do to bring about a healing. Could be you just get totally transformed in your mindset of some sort. And, I think it would be good to use affirmations. Maybe you need some empowerment affirmations or affirmations that help to like decrease anxiety or something like that. So moving on, that we could talk about teaching and learning. It has to do with skills. So this full moon is highlighting something around, teaching, learning, your skills. Maybe you need to use them. Maybe there's some outcome. You finish some course or you finish teaching something. It is the small groups workshop. So it's something like that for you all. And also, this sign is about small groups. It's a social sign. So it could be bringing up coworkers, friends, siblings, cousins, neighbors, your neighborhood, your local area, your connection to them. It could be changing in some kind of way. You're changing it, it's kind of like you're going to leave and go some other place, or it could be where you are is causing a change and transformation within you. Um it is a sign that has to do with social media, marketing, business, networking, meeting other people. So all of those could be highlighted for you in some kind of way. I see the third house is it's a little bit of a busy house. It's kind of like do, 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 go, go, go. So maybe that's what the Virgos feel like. You're really on the move during this time. You could be planning some short trips, taking some short trips. This also has to do with transportation. So, like how you go to and fro, that might be something that comes up for you. Um, let's see here. So, yeah, you have to, communication of all sorts. So, it's all about maybe there's some conversations, some transformative conversations, some conversations that are tough, but you're going to have them anyway. Um, you could use this as a time to write, maybe, especially if it's something that's based on research or if it's, um yeah, it's something that you're writing about that's deep, maybe your writing will be super deep during this time, Virgo. So, definitely wow. I never really know what this means, whichever sign the 3rd house gets highlighted for, who knows? 'Cause it's the house of doing the most. Next is Libra. So for you, Libra, this is the house of self-worth, value, personal finances. Definitely, you could be seeing something transforming in your personal finances, be it like your approach to them. Maybe there's something that's happening. You're standing in your power, you're standing in your worth, and like the money is starting to come in. It definitely can highlight money sources. Um, or, it's like, "Ooh, I don't have money," and, that gets highlighted. Maybe you wanna transform how you take care of your money, and so, this full moon makes you say, "I'm taking a class. I'm signing up with a money coach," or something like that. It also has to do with your personal possessions. So we have to remember Scorpio is about purging. So it could be you wanna purge some of your possessions, get rid of the old, you wanna step into the new. It's also a house that has to do with self-care, so this could be coming up for Libra. The need for you to focus on your self-care or how you have been taking care of yourself and now you're doing so well. It especially has to do with food and eating, so something like that could be coming up. It has to do with history, collections, antiques. That also could be highlighted for you during this full moon, and Some of it is maybe you study the history and it helps to transform you, or you're looking back at history at transformative times and it inspires you in some way. If you've been antique shopping, it might be a really good time. You might find, something really good. Um, or you just get this spark. You want to start collecting. I will say it could also be highlighting hoarding. And so for people who need to get some professional help when it comes to hoarding, it can help you with that. Definitely is this thing about purging or some type of transformation when it comes to material possessions. Taurus or the second house can have to do with family. So something around a lot of it though is it's kind of like we eat with our family, so it's kind of like that time that we spend with our family, but it also could be family history also. Okay. Okay, so we have the sign of the moon, Scorpio. All right, Scorpio, this is happening in your first house. Wow. What is this highlighting for you, Scorpio? You've been on a major transformation over the last year and a half. It's been challenging. You've been asked to make changes. And now it's like a brand new world for you. You had to let go of so much stuff. And it's kind of like when you go through that type of eclipse, Scorpio, that you previously went through, you're just kind of left standing there and it's like there's nothing. Where am I going to start over? So maybe this moon is bringing that back up for you. But remember, when embedded in this moon is this energy of seeing the vision, making progress. So can you see that for yourself? Is that opening up for you? If you've been working on your health and wellness, this moon could be revealing something to you about that. Either you did it, great job, or look at how far you've come, or you haven't made any changes. And so I'm going to highlight this because you really do need to make some changes in your health and well-being, maybe even in your appearance, Scorpio. So it's I do agree. It could be a full life review is coming up for you. Um yeah, I do think that Scorpios still need to be open to being healed just because we have the eclipses in a place right now that's like about work life balance, healing from the inside out, taking care of yourself, lifestyle. Those things are very important for us right now. And, there's still a lot of change and transformation that Scorpios are being asked to make. So it's really important for you, Scorpio, to use this moon to, do a full review and see, where is it that I'm headed? What is it that I need to do? Okay. So next is Sagittarius. Let me change this first. Okay. Sagittarius, this is happening in your 12th house. So, like I told, the other water signs, this could be very emotional for you. And it definitely is about this healing from the inside out. And there was an earlier sign where I talked about maybe it was Aries. It's like there are things that are there that you never share with people. Well, for you, it could be a little bit of that, but it's also like something could come up and you're like, I never in my life saw that in me before. Wow. This 12th house is the innermost part of our chart. It's actually about what's invisible. And so something can become visible to you. You can get some clarity with that x-ray vision. And a lot of it is this what's going on the inside of you, healing your psyche. But it also could be stepping deeper into some spiritual power and like connecting with the unseen realm. Sagittarius is it's a very intelligent energy and but I don't know if Sagittarius always feels like the water signs, The water energy is a little bit of a blind spot for the fire signs. So it's kind of like something opening in you, Sagittarius, where you're like, yeah, I know I'm super wise, but now it's like I have proof. because I'm experiencing it in the spiritual realm. So I think this could be a deeply spiritual moon. It could be one that feels also rather disturbing because, Scorpio's drudging up what's been down there in those dark pipes. And Scorpio's like, let me just bring that up, right? So definitely open yourself up to, being gentle and caring for yourself and, you know, whatever it is that you need to do to feel good in your body or at least safe in your body for whatever's coming up. I think that some of the Sagittariuses might see things that other people can't see during this time. And we'll link that to being very creative. It can open up a lot of creative energy for the Sagittariuses. Um, and again, spiritual. So healing, creative, spiritual. Definitely you want to be looking at what kind of tools do you want to use. I always like recommending things like hypnosis, NLP, Ho'oponopono, and meditation. Those are the things that work really well with the 12th house. Have boundaries. Definitely boundary issues can be coming up for the Sagittariuses. And I do agree, it is important to be cautious about being scammed at this time. And that also may bring up topics around, Sag, you just spending too much money. All right. Okay, Capricorn. Now, this is a nice house. This is a nice house that I think I would be happy with the full moon on my 11th house. It's one of the houses of good fortune. So you could find this moon is bringing you some good fortune, Capricorn. It's also a house that has to do with goals. So some of you all are like, okay, I'm recognizing some of my goals are being manifested, or you haven't been able to see the goals, but now you can see the goals. It's a house that has to do with progress. So maybe you're making some type of progress. It's also the house of financial gains. It's about being gainful. So some of the Scorpios may find that they're making more money, or, that this is a desire that you have to make more money, to be more gainful. Now, it also could be bringing up topics around relationships, friends, um, friend groups, and it could be chaotic. It could be that you're finding people that you finally feel like, you feel connected to, or it could just be like you're losing a friend group or something like that. So definitely relationship. This is a house that has to do with our relationship with other people, especially a larger group. All right. So could be bringing that up. Some of the Capricorns may feel sort of like, I'm just tired of society. um, it also is a house that has to do with technology, the internet, broadcasting, anything technological, scientific, futuristic. So these themes could be coming up for you, like how you're going to use them to transform, or how they have transformed you, or how you're going to use them to create transformation in other people's lives, or just something around that also. Yeah, some of y'all may also want to broadcast a message out, Capricorn, and this full moon will kind of highlight what that message is, or maybe you actually do it, highlight it. So, all right, Aquarius. So, Aquarius, this is your 10th house. So you are the last sign that we will say, wow, this moon may bring some big changes. Aquarius, you already had some big changes going with your career last year. Okay. So this is highlighting career change, transformation. Maybe you have finally gotten that change that you wanted in your career. It's there. You manifested it. But definitely something around career, you being a boss, and it could even have some transformation that needs to happen maybe with your team. It is about what you're known for. And so some of the Aquariuses are like, I know what y'all think y'all know about me, but let me tell you, this is what you gonna know about me. This is who I am. This is what I want my reputation to be. This is what I want to be known for. That really can become highlighted for you quite a bit with this transit. Some Some Aquariuses may find that they're getting married. Some Aquarius women in particular may find that they are separating because this can represent your marital status. It also can highlight family topics also, because this is the house that has to do with the father. So it does have to do with something around family, parents, that kind of thing also. Okay, last but not least is Pisces. Pisces, this is happening for you. So, Pisces, this is happening for you in the ninth house. Oh, wow. This is a beautiful house, Pisces. This is the house that has to do with that vision. So, maybe you're going to see the vision in something. And it's like, where am I headed? And about your purpose. So, all of these topics could be coming up for you. It is a house of good fortune, so some of the Pisces may find that they experience good fortune as a result of this moon. It is about learning and teaching, but it's like you're learning something that takes a while. It's like an advanced degree or an advanced certification. So those topics and themes could be coming up for you. And also it's the house of the master teacher. So some of you all may be stepping more into being a master teacher, but it also could be that you're finding a master teacher who can teach you what they know. You can learn from them. It brings up the gurus, the experts. So this is a time where you will find yourself, Pisces, looking out to the gurus, the experts, but you also might be stepping into you being a master teacher. Um, it also has to do with other cultures. So that could be coming up for you. Some of the Pisces might be like, hey, I want to go live some other place, or you just find yourself caught up in other cultural topics that are, for from other people's cultures. Or you may say, hey, I'm planning a trip. I want to go to some other culture, go live some other place, go visit it or something. Or maybe you're like, hey, I want to go to start doing more cultural festivals. This is a house that has to do with growth and expansion. And so that's one of the reasons it's connected to culture, because when you expose to other cultures, it expands your world. So that, or just some type of growth and expansion is happening for you with this full moon. I mean, I love that this is a lucky house, but it's Scorpio. And so sometimes the growth and expansion that comes with Scorpio can not be so fun, right? It has to do with publicity and also writing a book. So publishing, that kind of thing, that is something else that we might see or hear coming from the Pisces. So, yes, that is what I have. Uh, there we go. Okay, so let me do a reading for us, for you, for me, for us. This is from my African Goddess Rising deck. First card I pulled is Queen Nefertiti. It's the alchemy card. So, oh my gosh, Scorpio is about alchemy. So that's something that we want to think about with this moon. The alchemy. And then I pulled, man, Queen of Sheba. This is the second queen card. The first one is Queen Nefertiti, and the second one is Queen of Sheba. That's interesting. That's really, really interesting that I pulled two queen cards. But it's so interesting that the Queen of Sheba is secrets, which is definitely a Scorpio topic. And then the last one I pulled was Cosmic Power. Like, wow, this is such a good reading. So Queen Nefertiti, what she is talking about is what does my soul need me to know? What does my soul need me to know? And so let's see what she says. She says, it's your time. You turn everything your life throws your way into gold. You are on the path to fulfilling your purpose. You know why? Because you're an alchemist. You have the power to bend. One moment. You have the power to bend universal energy. So, guess what? Dare to transmute lead into gold by shifting from fear to love. Everything that you desire exist in some form of loving energy. So just match this frequency. See it in your mind's eye first. Imagine it. And this is what you say to yourself: I am loved fully. Somewhere in the universe, it is true. I am loved fully. What does it look, taste, and smell like to be loved unconditionally? And say it to yourself: I am happy and healthy. And then just see it. Say it to yourself: I am a money magnet. And what does it feel like? And her goddess declaration is: everything I touch turns into gold. And what I love about this is because one of the things that I'm going to say is it's sometimes easy to say, oh, what do you want in your life? I want you to imagine it in your eye, in your third eye, your mind's eye. I want you to see it. I want you to experience it and feel it. But then, you open your eyes and you're just like, oh crap, I'm not able to do this, right? I'm not able to take that action. For some of us, it's even difficult to like allow ourselves. Now, I do believe that we have to work on it. It's like we have to give ourselves a chance to believe more for ourselves. And so those kinds of exercises are good for that. But what I love about this reading for Scorpio is Scorpio also says, hey, we need to be trauma informed. We need to understand that sometimes I can see what I want, but until I'm not able to take the action because there's some deep healing I need to do. So, alchemy through deep healing is what I'm going to say about that card. Okay. Next is the Queen of Sheba. She is the goddess. It says goddess of secrets revealed out of Ethiopia. So, what she says is open your eyes. Secrets are being revealed. It is safe for you to see the truth, because your inner vision is crystal clear. I needed that one. You don't know what you don't know. Your creator, ancestors, angels, spirits, and ascended masters are whispering to you. This is divine intelligence. Pay close attention. There are things you do not let yourself see. So allow yourself to be guided. Choose your own path. And this one says, I am connected to the divine. Now, this particular card in this spread, because I don't all the time look and see, is the mind card. What am I really thinking or feeling? So, Queen of Sheba, it's something about secrets, and it's important for you. I think the one that stood out to me is allow yourself to be guided and choose your own path and listen to the divine intelligence. So can our thoughts get lined up with the thoughts of the universal intelligence? Can our feelings get lined up so that we're in tune with understanding the guidance that we're being given during this full moon by the infinite intelligence, divine great mother? Okay. So here, this takes us to the third card, which is the body. What is happening with me physically? I'm also just going to add, this is what we need to do. Okay. I think it's interesting that I pulled Cosmic Power. That's one of the cards in the earlier part of the deck. And this earlier part of the deck truly is like foundational and transformational. So this is Mawulisa out of Benin. And it says, you are in the right place. Release the fear of your power. Let me repeat that. Release the fear of your power. We all know that's a real thing. I have experienced it myself. It seemed odd and bizarre, but it's true. It's unknown is what it is. Once you start experiencing, you allowing yourself to experience your power, then it just becomes like second nature. But you just got to do it, right? Okay, so what Mawu Lisa wants you to know is you are sacred, you are magic. Now that you know this, you can no longer pretend not to. Sounds like my Lisa is like you've been duly noted, right? Duly noted. I don't want to say you've been warned. I don't want to make it sound like that. Okay. So this is what you need to do. Rise into your magnificence. Love and accept yourself fully to unlock everything you seek. I think that is one of the most transformational things that can be stated. Love and accept yourself fully to unlock everything that you seek. Stop pretending to be less than who you are. Your real power has nothing to do with external gains. Cosmic power cannot be destroyed or lost. You were created by the same force that birthed the sun and the moon, which is why we see that's what the cosmic power is all about. The sun and the moon is on there. So here's the goddess declaration. My power shines from within. There's nothing like a Scorpio moon to help you get in touch with that power within. So thank you all so, so much for being here. I just want to I want to take a quick moment to share with you. First and foremost, we have the Micro Audio Summit coming, the magic of spirituality for modern success for women. Woohoo! Registration will start very, very soon. So just want to remind you of that. Take note, it's coming. And then the retreat to reset at the Taurus New Moon, or for the Taurus New Moon, it comes before the new moon. So we will be focused on all things pleasure and prosperity and abundance and lavishness with this particular retreat. So, yeah, join me and the other sisters. Oh, let me take that down. Thank you all so, so much for being here. Blessings upon blessings on top of blessings, gentleness, ease, flow, grace be with you with this beautiful full moon. We're just so grateful to you, Scorpio, for all of the wisdom that you impart. With grace and ease, we say we open ourselves, but also thank you. Blessings on you and yours. And I will see you in the next video. All right. You take care. Peace and love, Queen. Peace.